Meantime, let's turn back to Cyber Monday, as Adobe predicts today will be the largest digital sales day in the history of the United States. Bill Reddy joins us now. He is Google's president of commerce and the former COO of PayPal. Bill, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Deirdre. Good to see you as well.
Now, how is Google Shopping positioned for the holiday season? What are you expecting or hoping for in terms of sales and growth?
Well, as everyone has seen, there's been an explosion in e-commerce this year. And what we've been working to do is to make sure that consumers can find all the things that they're looking for when they come to Google, whether that's finding it at a large retailer, a large e-commerce player, all the way down to small businesses. So some of the things you've seen from us this year have really focused on that. You saw us earlier this year, back in April, open up free shopping listings so that retailers can make all of their inventory available on Google. And as that's happened, we've seen not only has there been the large lift in e-commerce, but we've seen that consumers are finding much more of the things they're looking for from a much broader set of sellers when they come to Google. In fact, we saw, compared to our prior paid-only offering, a 50% plus lift in clicks from consumers, which again is many consumers finding much more of the things they're looking for from a much broader set of sellers, now that sellers can make all of their inventory available for consumers to discover on Google.
Right. At the same time, Bill, Google has been trying this shopping function in one form or another for about 7 years. I know you've only been in this position for about 1 year. What are you doing differently? You made enormous strides over at PayPal. What are you bringing to Google that will be different than past attempts?
Well, one of the things you've seen is that we've really made this an open ecosystem approach. I just mentioned that we opened it up for it to be free for retailers to provide all of their inventory. We're partnering with the ecosystem, particularly those players that serve small businesses like the Shopifys and PayPals of the world, so that we truly are reaching retailers of every size, including small businesses. In fact, we saw as we opened this up that small businesses benefited disproportionately from us opening up free shopping listings. And so one thing that's really important to understand about what we're doing on shopping with Google is that we're not a retailer and we're not trying to be a retailer. We are making sure that we provide great tools for retailers to connect with consumers in the digital arena, which is something that many retailers have been working on for years, but for most of them, it was a small part of their business, maybe 10% prior to the pandemic. And now with COVID, it's accelerated dramatically, but really proves out something that was top of mind for me and for Google prior to that, which is as consumers move to e-commerce increasingly, it's important that retailers of every size have access to great digital commerce tools. You want to make sure that consumers in the digital world have just as much choice in the digital world when they shop as they did in the physical world. And so just as we've always had it as our mission to organize the world's information, making sure that we help consumers find all the different things that they're looking for from any size seller anywhere in the world is critically important to how we think about organizing shopping information for consumers and helping retailers to participate in the digital economy.
Hey, Bill, it's John Fort. So let's talk big picture. If I remember correctly, I first met you about 8 years ago. We had lunch in Palo Alto. You were running Braintree, and you were telling me how the likes of Google and PayPal were behind in this payments thing and probably weren't going to be able to catch up. What happened? Where's the innovation right now?
Well, obviously, the payment space has grown tremendously, and you've seen multiple players make great strides in that. One of the things that became very apparent to me was that, democratizing access, as you and I spoke about, many years ago, democratizing access to digital commerce tools has been a point of passion for me for a long time. The more successful checkout tools have become, and those are still critically important to have really great digital checkout, it also became apparent to me that there was a much broader set of things that retailers needed to solve for if retailers are going to fully compete in the digital arena, particularly those retailers that are transitioning from the physical world into the digital world. And so that's really what we've been focusing on with what we're doing with shopping at Google, is saying, how do we go democratize access to the full set of services? Some of those will partner with the ecosystem, like what we're doing with Shopify and PayPal, so that the small businesses and retailers can bring their existing service providers. Others of those things, like really connecting to the consumer's demand in that digital environment, we're making sure we open that up so that whether you're an advertiser with us or not, you can connect to that demand, because that's really the thing that so much of retail is missing. Is retailers have really retooled for e-commerce. What even the larger retailers still struggle with is, how do they meet that consumer at the point of demand? How do they connect with that consumer in the digital environment? And we have hundreds of millions of consumers that come to Google every day for their shopping needs. And so as we open that up, we think we can really help the broader retail ecosystem meet the consumer in the digital environment.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.